Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Sanctuary. It is week 9 and I am here to talk fantasy game day. I'm going to walk you through key plays and key enablers at each position to set your lineups for the Fantasy Game Day app. Let's dive in. First of all, if you haven't played the Fantasy Game Day app, it is a UK only DFS contest. It is fantastic. It is really unique in terms of the way they approach it. You get a captain pick, you get 2 players at running back, wide receiver, plus a flex, a QB, a tight end, and it's all in pounds. And it's the way it's priced, it enables you to build some absolute monster lineups with some superstars. If you use our code TFS23 when you sign up, when you initially deposit, you will then get a free second entry worth £7.50 to this week's slate, and you can get double the lineups in for the price of one. Let's dive in. The all-important captain pick. If you've watched our week 9 preview with Tom yesterday, you will see it is Alvin Kamara week. He is playing the Chicago Bears. He's priced high, but not outrageous at 6,500, averaging almost 23 points a game. And the really exciting thing about Alvin Kamara, it's 7.8 receptions a game. There's almost 8 points before you get off the couch. It is unbelievable the way he's being used now. Chicago is abysmal against running backs, both in the run game and the pass game, and Alvin Kamara should eat. He is absolutely one of my favorite captain picks this week. And then the other guy, AJ Brown, on an absolute tear at the moment, averaging over 23 points a game. He's had 5 top 12 weeks so far this season, averaging over 125 yards a game over the last 5. He's just an absolute beast. Gone up against the Dallas secondary that is good, but is not elite. They're a bit more boom bust in terms of they have that risk reward where they're going to be high interception. You look at Bland and his pick 6 ratio and things like that, but they still give up yards, they still give up production, and this game could be a real blowout. So yeah, if you can get AJ Brown in as that captain, he's definitely the way to go if you're looking to pivot away from Alvin Kamara. At the QB positions, yes, I mean, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, they're going to be your studs. But if you want to buy down at the position, look for some enablers. Bryce Young, sneaky upside, priced really low at 4,300. It's an interesting over-under at 44. We've seen the Colts have given up plenty of points to opposing QBs in the last few weeks. They are 27th in adjusted fantasy points allowed to the position. It might be a case of holding your nose and picking Bryce Young, but if you can drop down to Bryce Young, save yourself £4,000 from a Jalen Hurts, it enables you to load up at every other position. And Bryce Young could absolutely eat this week. And then the other guy I really like this week, I think he's massively undervalued in basically every format, is Daniel Jones. He's back. Yes, he's only producing 11 points a game, but criminally low touchdown rate. This Raiders team, okay, they've got a new head coach and there could be the new head coach bump. Equally, it could go completely the other way and it could blow up, and this could be a horror show for the Raiders team moving forward. So quite like Daniel Jones, quite like his potential to get some rushing production, and hopefully we see a little bit of regression on that touchdown rate as well. The running back position, obviously Alvin Kamara is one. If you're not captaining him, he's absolutely someone you should be looking here. 2 guys that could produce like studs, but aren't priced like it. Rhamondre Stevenson, £3,500 against Washington. He's about the only decent asset on the Patriots offense. We've seen, obviously, Kendrick Bourne's now done for the year. He had a really, really slow start to the year, but he's starting to turn it around, averaging over 13 points a game over the last 3 weeks. And look, this Washington offense, they've just lost 2 key edge rushers as they've traded them away. It could be that Washington start to concede some serious amount of points, and it could be a Rhamondre Stevenson breakout week. And then Tony Pollard, he's just not getting it done at the moment. He's not explosive in the run game. He still looks explosive in the pass game, but big over-under, 38 red zone opportunities Tony Pollard has seen this year, and he's just not producing on those. I think he's had 2 touchdowns. So could be some regression there. I think at 4,300, it's hard not to pick him when you're saving, £3,000 from the like of Saquon Barkley. So yeah, easily selecting those 2 in both lineups this week. And then at wide receiver position, I talked about it on the preview show. Chris Olave, he is one of the biggest regression candidates right now. He's 517 receiving yards and only 1 touchdown. Should have about 4 or 5 touchdowns. And if he did, that 12.7 points per game number would be up close to 15, 16, and people wouldn't be moaning about him. Against a Chicago team that we've seen can't stop anybody. So 3,700, he's an enabler, but also got the potential to be an absolute star. And then Devonta Smith, Dallas, I talked about it with AJ Brown, not a great secondary. They're actually worse against wide receiver 2s than they are against wide receiver 1s. So Devonta Smith not been what we were hoping coming into the season, but again, could be a breakout candidate, could be a regression candidate, and same price as Chris Olave. It feels cheap. You know, you can have Smith and Olave as your 2 wide receivers and then just have studs through the rest of your roster. So interesting options at wide receiver this week, definitely. And then at tight end, Mark Andrews is an absolute smash play. He's the most expensive tight end on the slate, but he's easily out producing the majority of other tight ends on this slate. Decent matchup against Seattle. I love the idea of going a heavy stack. You can go Lamar, Flowers, Andrews with a DK or a Lockett bring back. I think is a really interesting way to approach it. And then the cheap enabler option, David Njoku, as Tom tweeted out this week, he's producing more fantasy points a game without Deshaun Watson. If he can get you, 10 points, he's returning 4 times his price. That's an absolute smash against an Arizona team that looks feisty, but is just giving up points for fun. So, yeah, interesting slate this week. I think there's lots of ways to attack it. You can probably get away with one enabler if you're going to go and look at, the likes of Olave and Devonta Smith. That almost counts as your second enabler and just have studs across the board. Reminder, if you are playing and this is your first time, use the code TFS23 for that free second entry when you deposit. When you select that first lineup, you will automatically get that second entry free. Who are you playing this week? Have I missed anyone? Is there any key guys that you think are going to be in your lineup that I've not talked about? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, best of luck this week. Hopefully you bring home some money.